I don't know which one of you bitches just lied to me and told me I'm not gonna see no monsters until later in the game. I just seen that motherfucker!
It is genuinely difficult trying to express my frustration or articulate the feelings behind this job market right now in 2026. I feel as if we have employers who don't want to hire, but an entire generation of people who are willing and wanting to do the work. I mean, we want the apartment, we want to be able to afford to pay off our student loans, the car note, etc., the food, the groceries. But every step of the way, it feels like we're being told not to exist.
Welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new. It's Fancy here, and today guys, we are going to be talking about an ongoing issue with Gen Z. So without further ado, let's just get on to this video. Gen Zs right now keep saying they can't find jobs, and after watching some of these clips, you guys will be able to see why as well. The job market right now is honestly a bit of a joke.
Getting a job is actually impossible. My mum, my siblings, everyone's telling me just get a job, but it's not that easy. Indeed is not hiring. Indeed is a facade. And all these other websites that promise me a job, you're not gonna give me a job, babe. So let's just take a step back and think.
Not even gonna lie to y'all, bro. Gen Z is cooked. Now, hold on, stay with me here. I have a family member who works with this one guy, right? And this one guy that he works with, he has a very robust background in finance and accounting. So he knows a lot of C-suite prominent people in a lot of big bulge banks and financial institutions. And he said something to my family member that was very interesting, that explains why a lot of Gen Zers are having such a hard time finding jobs right now, especially in the corporate world. Now, he told my family member that a lot of the people that he knows at these corporate companies are purposely firing and not hiring Gen Zers. Now, their assumed rationale of this and why they don't want to hire Gen Zers is because they think that Gen Zers are only willing to do the bare minimum needed for role responsibilities, and they're not willing to work hard towards whatever the role responsibilities are. Overall, they think that Gen Zers are just lazy and not willing to basically sell our souls to the companies that we work for. And it's fascinating to me how there's still a large portion of people who are in the workforce discriminating against people of a specific age due to their willingness to work, which is absurd. So anybody over the age of 60 who tries to tell us you guys don't know what it is to work a real job, to work real hours, you guys are getting the easy way out with AI and all these extra tools that you have to your disposal, my response to that is shut the hell up, because y'all are not living in an economy where inflation continues to rise, mortgage and rents continue to rise, and we're getting discriminated against because of our age, bro.
The majority of Gen Z is unemployed. Yes, it's true, and yes, that is a ridiculous statement because a lot of us are graduating college at this point. Meaning we were lied to our whole entire childhood, all throughout middle school, all throughout high school, thinking that we are going to get these amazing jobs and we're going to be financially stable and it's all going to work out when we graduate. That is furthest from the truth.
Gen Z's unemployment rate is 8.3%, and the national average is 4.2%. We are unemployed at a literal double rate than the national average. Entry-level jobs have declined 35% since 2023, and still the ones that are posted as entry-level still require 3 to 5 years of experience. And those tasks used to be things such as pulling data. But AI can do all of that now. So the first rung on the ladder is really hard to reach, and it's almost been entirely removed. And waiting for it to come back is just cooking yourself in the job market. And that's why I've been going through WAP Academy. It's free, all you need is a .edu email, and it teaches you AI skills that you can use to get a job or generate income. Comment the word Gen Z and I'll send you the link.
Work of an entire department for barely a livable pay. And by barely livable, I mean like you are not able to like live life the way you want to with this type of like paycheck. We're talking like barely able to afford like paying the bills, barely able to afford like paying for your cars, paying for groceries, stuff like that. And that's not even including with kids or if you have pets. So yeah, it's kind of crazy out here right now in the big 2026. And yeah, but what we're going to be discussing first is the problems with like getting into the jobs, the problems with like sending out resumes, applications, stuff like that. So take a look at some of these clips from some of these people and from them speaking from their experiences, and we'll be right back.
Why are all of these places hiring but like won't fucking hire?
Well over 3,000 jobs. That is the lowball estimate of how many jobs in total I've applied to since I graduated college in the winter of 2021. Statistically, job openings on the market are at an all-time high. Why does it feel like it's absolutely impossible to get a job right now? Well, I'm about to tell you why. Because no, I never even managed to actually find a way into the industry in which I graduated from and wanted to join. In fact, it's so hard for Gen Z and millennials to get a job nowadays that even when I did finally get a job, after like 8-9 months of applying, I continued to apply to jobs. Because I knew that's literally how hard it is to get a job. That if something happened at that job, it could be another 2 or 3 years before I found another one. In fact, I got laid off this week from one of my 3 current jobs for budgeting reasons, and I haven't even bothered to start the applying process again because it just feels so pointless. And people like this who are selling coaching services might try and convince you that your approach is the issue. Unfortunately, it usually has nothing to do with you, which makes you feel even more helpless. Like when I finally managed to find jobs that were actually doing interviews, I would make it to the end round of candidates for those interviews. But the issue is right in front of you. When you open up your LinkedIn and you look at all your job applications, what do you see right away? Only one of them says that it was even viewed. And most of them just all go completely unviewed and untouched. And that's because most of these jobs aren't actually real. And I can confirm this now as someone who worked within a company and whose friend worked within a very large company we'll call saline forces. One day I noticed they had hundreds and hundreds of jobs listed on LinkedIn, and I was like, oh, I should apply and come work with you, it would be fun. And he said, none of those jobs are probably real. We just keep posting the same jobs over and over again, and most of them aren't even real, so that it looks like we're constantly growing and doing well to people on the outside. And most companies do this. Even one of the companies I worked for did this. We would always have a couple jobs posted for our department just in case like the perfect Goldilocks person came along to fit it. But for the most part, it wasn't really a real job. They're referred to as ghost jobs, but there's no way of knowing at first glance which ones are real and which ones are fake, so they all go into counting to these numbers. That allegedly the job market has 1.4 positions posted for every person looking. I don't know why we're not cracking down more on that.
Can't stand it when people say,
oh, Gen Z is so lazy, no one wants to work anymore. What is it with this generation?
bitch, I would work if I could fucking get a job. You try being Gen Z and try getting a job, see how long it takes you. My generation is entering the most cooked job market of all time. It's so bad that for the first time, the new grad unemployment rate is higher than the unemployment rate overall. Our jobs are all replaced by AI, reviewing resumes, the whole hiring process is replaced by AI. No one even looks at your fucking resume anymore. You don't even get rejected from jobs anymore, you just don't get a response. The job market is so cooked that more than 50% of Gen Z has a side hustle just to stay financially afloat. And a lot of us are freelancers. I'm a freelancer. Believe me, our generation is not lazy because we're the generation who has to actually pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and constantly find different freelance gigs, different side hustle gigs to keep us floating above the water. Boomers, you got a full-time job with benefits straight out of college and probably stayed at that job for 40 years. I don't want to hear it.
In 2026, 75% of all resumes and job applications are reviewed and rejected automatically by AI software, meaning a human never sees the work you put in, how hard you studied, where you've traveled, who you've lived with, etc. All your experience is reviewed by a software that has no conscience, and they wonder why people think college is a joke. We paid hundreds of thousands of dollars just for our entire lives to be summed up and rejected by a computer program.
Honestly guys, after watching like some of these clips, I can honestly say like firsthand that I agree with literally most of what they are saying, if not everything of what they're saying. It is not easy out here. You can literally apply to like hundreds of jobs in a single week and still hear nothing back from these places. Like, I don't understand why they go silent sometimes. Like, I understand if you may not want, like, let's say like you apply to a job turns out you're not a good fit after all. Like, at the end of the day, that's their choice. Like, the company chooses who they want and don't want for their job. Like, that part I understand. But then again, what I don't understand is, like, how are you gonna leave people in the dark? Like, you just have them, like, thinking, like, am I hired? Am I not hired? Like, do I get the job? Do I not get the job? It is so hard to find a job. And before, I feel like it was so much easier to apply and get a job. Like, you would get hired right then and there. No, like, ignoring. No, like, silences. Like, you would get hired right then and there. Now, it is, like, a complete guessing game, pretty much, I would say. And now, the use of AI, the tool that most of us have a love and hate relationship with, is now thrown into the equation, and it is now taking over some jobs, which is making it even more difficult for Gen Zs to find jobs to apply for in the big 2026. And yes, I am going to say this, like, the use of AI, I feel like when you even just go to apply to jobs, like, online now, they're using AI tools to review your, like, applications and stuff. It's, like, barely being reviewed by a human anymore, which is, like, kind of crazy, but it's, like, it just goes to show how much AI has now taken over with, like, literally everything, which makes it so much harder to find a job, because AI doesn't need to eat, it doesn't need a paycheck, like, it doesn't need breaks. Like, it is literally taking over most of these, like, I wouldn't say most, but for the future, it is definitely something I cannot speak right now, something to take into consideration, especially because it is, like, the more, I feel like it's advancing, like, so quickly. Like, AI is becoming, like, so powerful right now that I feel like eventually you won't even be seeing teachers at schools anymore. Like, you go to class, you'll see a robot or something like that, and, like, an AI. Like, bro, you won't even need teachers anymore. And honestly, I'm kind of curious, like, would AI be, like, start to take over, like, jobs like Lyft and Uber? That'd be kind of crazy, because, like, Teslas can already drive, like, manually, like, right? Like, you can just have it, like, the car can drive itself is what I'm trying to say. Like, that would be kind of sick, like, having a car just driving by itself, and it's kind of like your Lyft/Uber. That'd be kind of crazy.
These are the jobs that are going to be easily wiped out by AI in the next 5 to 10 years. For the first one, we have accounting and finance. These jobs look like bookkeepers, payroll clerks, and financial analysts. I believe that these jobs can be completely wiped out because AI can automate tax prep, expense tracking, and financial forecasting. For the next one, we have customer service and support. These jobs look like call service reps, help desk support, and chat support agents. These jobs can be wiped out because AI chatbots and voice assistants can handle FAQs, complaints, and basic troubleshooting. Transportation and logistics. These involve delivery drivers, inventory management staff, and warehouse pickers and packers. Yes, I'm saying, my job at Amazon is definitely jeopardized. Ain't no shame in that. AI can take over with autonomous vehicles, drones, and warehouse robots that can handle logistic tasks more efficiently. And our favorite one, media and content. I'm sorry to tell you, bro, but AI is gonna take this over. When it comes to basic news reporter, copywriting for ads or product descriptions, and video editing assistance, you are cooked. AI can generate articles, social media posts, and edit repetitive video tasks quickly. A lot of these financial gurus that are telling y'all to get into copywriting and all this stuff, cool, but create a business behind it. Don't just do these things. Learn it, but learn it for a grand scheme, the business. And for my people that are actively getting their college degree in accounting or finance, or are already working in the industry, bro, please make sure that you have a plan and a strategy on what you're gonna do with your money. Please invest, save, don't be in debt, do the smart things with your money, buy assets so you can buy your time back, so you do not have to worry about that day when that announcement comes and they're like, bro, everybody's fired. You don't have to be the one that's sitting there like, damn, what the hell am I gonna do? Because you already have your life in order, you already had your ducks in a row, and you waited for this day. You were prepared for this day.
Meanwhile, the older generations are like, just walk in and hand them your resume. Yeah, I've dropped 100 in a day and still haven't gotten any calls back yet. And honestly, it's not even just about getting money, but also the burnt out feeling, the pressure from family members, and the fear of falling behind. even when you're trying your best, those things are stressful.
It's almost impossible to discuss with your parents or grandparents about your life struggles, your financial struggles at this current time, especially if you are under 30 years old. And the main reasoning behind this is because they are of a different time. A time in which, for some reason, does not allow them to think outside of that time. And this is a real mystery. This is something I don't fully understand. The only theory I have is that life was so good for them at a certain point that they had no reason to ever think outside of that box that they were in. And I'm not saying that certain individuals didn't bust their ass to have what they have back then. I'm not saying that everything was on easy mode, but it was dramatically and drastically easier. And there's really no resource, there's no statistic that will point in the opposite direction of that. They lived a much easier life. And actually, I believe that a lot of individuals that we look up to, just because they're financially more well off and they're much older, would not have survived in a time that most Gen Z individuals are going through right now. Do not be discouraged by these individuals. Do not be discouraged by those awkward holiday conversations around the dinner table where they're asking you about why are you still living at home? Why don't you have a gig yet? These kinds of things, because they don't get it. Now, am I saying to be lazy and to embrace that? No, I'm saying to understand that a lot of things are not your fault, but it is still your responsibility to grind and to go after what is yours. Press forward. Don't be discouraged. Brighter days are coming, whether it's here, whether it's somewhere else, but 98% of what you do at this point is up to you. These are the circumstances, right? It's a shit sandwich. It's a shit situation. It's absolutely downhill, but that doesn't define how you and your life can turn out. So push forward.
Older generations be like, Gen Z is addicted to social media, Gen Z is addicted to the technology, Gen Z lacks social skills. And my question is, who raised us? Who's raising us? You guys are. And I'm sorry to tell you, you dropped the ball. You did not do your job properly, okay? It was you guys' job to teach us these skills and these things that we need to know to be able to function in society properly. And you didn't do that. So now you're surprised that this is the outcome? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Guys, like, honestly, speaking from experience, like, it is really hard out here, like, seriously. Like, just the other day, I went to one of those, like, I was nearby and I went to one of those, like, job fairs at this little, like, store. It was, like, kind of close by where I live, but not really. But the point is, I went to one of these job fairs and I saw that they were hiring. You guys, when I tell you the line up for one of these things was so long. Like, we're talking about, like, people were standing all the way from the store all the way around the parking lot just to get into this, like, just to apply for the job. And it was to the point where literally the other stores that were there, they had to tell the manager of the job fair or whatever. They're like, hey, can you, like, do something about these people, like, standing out in the line? Like, they're blocking our businesses from happening because they're, like, blocking the door, they're standing in the way. And it was honestly, like, a mess. But that just goes to show, like, there is so many people these days trying to apply and looking for jobs, but they're having a hard time doing so. And I would honestly say, like, it's just a mess. Like, seriously, like, it is a headache. It is just so stressful. Like, I feel like it's just, I don't know, like, it is just so rough. Even on YouTube, it's just hard to get your platform going. It's hard to just feel motivated to continue on with your YouTube journey, but that is not the point of this video that I'm trying to make, or like something I'm trying to talk about right now. What I'm saying is, like, guys, like, it is really difficult out there, and yeah, it is just so hard. Anyways, guys, before we end this video, I would just like to take time to say to any of you that may be on a job hunt yourselves or are looking for a job and you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed, just know that I'm speaking from experience, and I can tell you that I relate to you, and honestly, I hear your pain and I get what you're going through. Like, it is not easy. It is not something that is just something like you can be like, well, at least I'm trying, or like, yeah, well, maybe it'll get better. It's like, bro, it is really stressful. Like, we all need to make a living. We all need to, like, make money. we all need to do what we need to do. I'm losing my voice to live life, and honestly, looking for a job these days is so hard. It is not easy. So I get your pain. And what I would say to you, honestly, is give yourself time. Just take it easy. Don't feel like you're falling behind or like you need to find something immediately. Like, I understand, like, we need to make a living for ourselves, earn a little bit of money so we can live. But at the same time, you need to take care of yourself and you need to take it easy. Don't let this stress you out. There is always like side hustles, side jobs you can do, like online, or like even just in a neighborhood or like in the community, that you can do if finding a job like in a store or like a restaurant or like wherever isn't working for you. There's always alternatives. So that'd be my advice to you. And I'm sorry that was so hard for me to deliver. Like, my talking speech is not good right now at all. Like, it is so bad. Anyways, guys, that's going to be a wrap for today's video. It is a little bit shorter than my usual content, but that's just because I am testing out this video to see like if this is something I would continue to do or not. So yeah, guys, let me know if I should do part 2 or something similar to a topic like this to discuss, and as well as let me know down below, guys, your experience with this whole job hunting, looking for jobs, interviewing process, stuff like that, guys. Let me know your experiences down below. If there were any moments in this video that you could relate to, I know I could for sure. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe if you're new. Otherwise, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace!